Hello, it's Colin Davies with Security Pacific. Thank you for tuning in to our new agent training seminar. This is the third part of the series, and today we're going to be going over disclosures. Disclosures are very important when you are preparing an offer to make for your client, because it's going to give you all the information that the seller is providing to you based on the condition of the home. You're going to have the standard disclosures that's going to be specific for that home, whether that's in Alameda or Contra Costa or Solano County, and also based on the city of that home. So you're going to get different standard disclosures for that you're going to want to review with your client. You're also going to receive the seller property questionnaire and the transfer disclosure statement if the seller is not exempt, and that's going to give you a lot of information, and also your clients that information where they can review, and you're going to want to spend time with your client while they're going over that. I find it helpful right now to have a Zoom meeting and being able to share your screen and go over the documents, and for the transfer disclosure and the seller property questionnaire, those are very important, as well as the agent visual inspection disclosure. That's going to show to your clients that are looking to buy the home what that seller is aware of, right? So any of those boxes that they're marking yes, they're going to provide an explanation on it. You want to make sure that your client looks what they're aware of and the explanation. Whether some examples, whether they're aware that if permits were used for doing remodels, whether there's material defects in the property. It gives a great opportunity for kind of a first review to find out what the seller is telling your prospective buyers, what's going on with the property. Nowadays, you find a lot of the times that a homeowner will order inspection reports on the property up front, so they can really give you an idea and your clients an idea of what's going on with the home. So you're going to be looking for possibly a home inspection report, a termite pest inspection report, a roof inspection report, depending on where it is, possibly a sewer inspection report, a sidewalk inspection report. And it's a great way for your clients to really spend time on getting to know the property. I know it's time consuming, but even if you don't think you're going to be able to get the home that you're making an offer on, maybe it's your client's first offer, it's really an educational process that they get to understand and get a little more comfortable with those reports. For the home inspection, it's going to give the general overview of the home, spending a little time with them as they review it and seeing what's going on with the electrical or the plumbing or the structural, or they're going to ask you questions, and you're going to ultimately want to refer them to call that inspection company and speak with the professional. But at least it gives you a chance to spend time with your clients and be a part of that learning process as they're going over the home inspection. The termite inspection, you're going to have section 1 items, you're going to have section 2 items, and you're going to have section 3 items. Being familiar with that report, a lot of the times I like to look at all the disclosures and inspection reports up front before having that review with my clients. But you really want to pay attention to any further inspections, whether it's from the home inspection or the termite inspection. Because a lot of times, I know when I first started in the business, I'd get a termite inspection report. I didn't even know how to read it. I'd look at section 1 and think, oh wow, it's only $3,000, and we've been looking at homes where it's been $10,000 or $12,000. Oh, this looks awesome, right? And really not paying attention to maybe the section 2 items or further inspections that could be recommended. The reason I bring this up is because say you're looking at a home and you get a termite inspection report and section 1's really low, maybe it's only a few $1,000s, and then in section 3 they make note that the exterior of the home is stucco, and maybe they recommend they do further inspection and do test holes. And maybe if you bypass that and your clients bypass it and overlook the further inspection, they end up buying the home, and then a year or two later, for whatever reason, it's brought to their attention and they weren't even aware of it. And they end up having a termite company come out and do further inspection with test holes, and there's $60,000 of work that they bid on. So you really want to make them and yourself aware of, not only just the Section 1 bid, but what items are they calling out? Maybe they weren't able to see under the crawl space because it was blocked by the owner's items. So really familiarizing yourself with how to read a termite report, making sure that your client's aware of there may have been further inspection items, and having them give that termite company a call or an email to clarify, right? And speaking to the professionals and what that's going to look like. Is there a cost for further inspection, or was a crawl space blocked off because there were homeowner items that are blocking it? And you want to make sure that not only are you aware of it, but your clients are aware of it, and really giving them, the opportunity to do a further inspection or learn more. Also, you got the roof inspection. Great number of local roofers in the area that you might have, for instance, maybe a home guard or a home inspector do a roof inspection, and they might go up on the roof, but they might not bid the items, as opposed to maybe a specialized company that actually puts on roofs, replaces roofs, that's able to get up there and also give an itemized bid. If you have a home inspector and get up there and you say, okay, the roof looks good, and we expect 3 more years on it, and everything looks great, and your client signs off on that. 6 months later, you got a rainy season and it starts leaking. It might be a good idea to refer them to have a company that's actually going to do an itemized bid on it, or other recommendations. Going further into the point of sale ordinances, I know we kind of went over it in a previous training seminar, but being aware of what's going to be required before or after close of escrow, whether that's the sewer lateral. If the sewer lateral is not in compliance and we don't have a recent bid on it, and you tell your client, hey, you know what, it's about $4,500 to $6,000, and you tell them that price point, they end up buying the house. The home might be up in the hills or have a weird situation where they have to go a lot deeper to do the sewer lateral, or they have to go a lot further from the home. You're definitely going to want to have an inspection from a professional that's giving a bid for that repair or replacement. The last thing you want to do is come up with a ballpark price and that end up being wrong. So having a sewer lateral company or a licensed plumber that's doing sewer laterals come out and give a bid, it's very important. Or if there's one been provided, making sure that your clients are aware of what's going on and what that cost is going to look like. The same applies to a gas shutoff valve, or possibly a sidewalk bid for the city of Oakland. One, being aware of those point of sale ordinances, looking at those inspection reports that have been given, paying attention to what further recommendations that the inspection reports recommend, having that conversation with your clients so they're fully aware of it. So if they do get their offer accepted, they already know what they want to inspect. I know it's sometimes tempting, especially with electronic signatures, where you might be in a race to make an offer and you haven't reviewed all the disclosures, or your clients haven't, and you just send it out to them to be signed, and then all of a sudden you have an accepted offer and you're scrambling to figure out what's going on with the property, what inspections that you want to get. It really is going to save you a lot of time and stress for everybody if you do that upfront work before you make the offer, making sure that they're really aware of what's going on. And basically, you're going to be making an offer on what's already been disclosed to you. If you get into contract, and I know I've had this conversation with a few people that maybe their clients haven't reviewed anything, and they get into contract, and then they see maybe there's a $10,000 worth of Section 1 that was already disclosed up front, and they've made an offer. You've made an offer now as is of what's been disclosed to you. You're going to have a really hard time if they've already given you the information that the sewer lateral needs to be replaced and it's at $6,000 and the termite's at $10,000. The electrical's old and there's a recommendation to have an electrician come out. Like a lot of these things, by doing that work out front, when you put that into the offer, you're really making a strong offer on it, and you're making that offer ultimately on what's been disclosed to you. Obviously, if there's further recommendations and or you have an electrician come out and give a bid for it, or you discover something else new, then that's where then you try to make everything work and negotiate with the listing agent and the seller and your clients to make sure that the home is what they expected and it's in the condition that they expected or is revealed from the new inspections. It's really going to help you be able to communicate and be reasonable if you do have to ask for a seller credit or a reduction in price point. Those inspection reports are really important. You're also, if the listing agent has set up a pre-escrow, you're going to have a preliminary title report. We can go into more detail on that on another training seminar. But ultimately, looking on what's recorded on the property, right? Are there liens? What are the liens looking like? Are there CC&Rs recorded on it? Are there other recordings? A lot of the times on the new preliminary title reports, you'll be able to click on a recording link and it's going to pop up more documents. But you really are going to want to be aware of what is on that title report. And if it is a link, a lot of the times what I like to do is click on that link, save that document, and attach it for my clients to review and sign, so that they're very aware of what's going on with the property. And for example, there could be a development, maybe just as an example, Hercules, and on that the preliminary title report, there's a recording of CC&Rs, and maybe it says something like you can't park a boat or an RV in this development. And if you don't provide that to your clients, or they don't acknowledge it and they've just signed it and you miss the documents, you might run into a little bit of trouble after it closes. So taking a look at that preliminary title report, making sure that all those recordings that are on the title report that you're able to pull up and provide to your clients to review. Addendums, they also come into play as well. Particularly some of the big ones are Alameda and Contra Costa County purchase agreement addendum for certain cities or unincorporated areas. And this is going to be also an addendum that if signed, even after if your offer's already been accepted and you sign it, it's going to put the responsibility of who's going to pay costs for maybe the sewer lateral is not in compliance and the seller has marked that it's not been in compliance and a bid's been provided, and they're going to indicate how they want who to take responsibility. Maybe they mark that box, the buyer to take responsibility, and you go back to your original offer and you left 7B 2 blank, and now they've signed that purchase agreement addendum agreeing to pay for that cost of compliance for the sewer lateral after close of escrow. You're going to want to be aware of what they're signing. That's also going to go for the plumbing fixtures, any permit status, sidewalk, gas shutoff valve. So these are going to be addendums that are going to be specific to the property. You're going to want to be aware of it, and if it is included in the disclosure packet, making sure that you see what the seller is indicating. If they put that a bid's been provided and they want the buyer to take responsibility for it, not saying you can't put that into your offer and not have your client sign that purchase agreement addendum, but it's really going to give you an indication of where they're at. So paying attention to that is going to allow you to have a thoughtful conversation with your clients when they're writing the offer, and then when they do sign it, they feel very comfortable and they know what they're getting into. Lastly, if it's a part of a homeowners association, you're going to have those HOA documents. Hopefully they have them up front with the disclosure packet. If not, while you're in contract, I know it takes a little bit of time to get that back from the homeowners association, but you want to make sure your clients spend time reviewing that. If they need help, they can call a real estate attorney, they can call a CPA, or they can give you questions that you can submit to the listing agent to ask of the homeowners association. But you want to make sure that they're aware of the bylaws. Maybe they don't allow any more of the units to be rented. You'll see that in rental restrictions. Maybe they have an architectural committee. Maybe they only allow a certain color of blinds, or what you can paint your door, or who's responsible for maintaining the garage door, or landscaping, or what you can and can't do. So you also want to make sure that your clients are very aware of the HOA documents, that they review them. If they do have questions, you submit them to the listing agent in their own way they wrote that email, or their questions, or seeing if you can put them in touch with somebody at the HOA. But you want them to know everything about the HOA documents, of what they're getting themselves into, and being aware of that, right? And always referring them to call the professionals and doing their due diligence, hopefully while they still have an inspection contingency still in place, or even before they make the offer. The last thing you want is they end up buying the home and they're not aware, or they never took a look at the bylaws or the rules or the restrictions, and they think they can rent the place, and somebody told them that it's all good, and it ends up it's not, right? So you want to make sure that they take the time to review those documents. If they do have questions, to contact professionals that will be able to help them. A lot of things in the disclosures. The packets are getting larger and larger as time goes on and we continue to do business. But the importance is spend time, have your clients spend time reviewing them. They're only going to get better at understanding the documents as they make more offers on properties and as they get more disclosure packets. But it's really a time for them to be educated and learn how to read everything, and start contacting professionals that can help them and give them information. So ultimately, when they do purchase the home, much as possible of what they're getting into, and then they're able to plan and budget and prepare for doing what they need to do for the home. As always, if you have any questions, you can call Jack or myself. We'd be happy to go into more detail, anything in disclosures. Thank you again for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you on the next training seminar.